Alright, welcome to my new playlist, which is called something like, and I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to call it. What in the world did you do this weekend? So this is video number 2. Last week I put in a lot of work transplanting, and let's just go ahead and review that a little bit. So we did some transplanting. These guys here are Rosa Sharons, and typically these guys start their life right here, and you can see a few of them here. So the idea behind this series, we'll see how well it goes, is you may have questions about what can you transplant, what can you plant. It's not just for gardening either. It's for jobs like making this little wall. You can ask me how I made this little wall, by the way. Let's have a look at it. I did this, I don't know, I did do a video on it, but not for this new venue. But if anybody could do this, okay? With a little bit of planning, that'll be good for years. A new thing we're going to be doing, I know I diverted, is we're going to be putting these big stones on the side to stop the earth from moving away from, well, my property. Because through the years, you know, the erosion is a thing. So grass. This is where we have hostas, and they serve the purpose, of course, for stopping the dirt from going away as well. So I had to transplant some hostas. Very easy to do. To dig them up, you just dig around the area where it is, and you want to go under the roots. So I'd say that was almost like a 12 by 12 situation where I dug it up. So I transplanted that one and that one, and throughout the summer we'll come out here from year to year actually, and we get rid of the roots that have been growing. Here's one here, and continue to pull those guys up. If you let things grow, they'll just grow out of control. Like there's this unit here, I have to get a pickaxe and carefully extract that. So through the years I've just been nipping it and sawing it and nipping it, and it says, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do and continue to grow. That's how it works. Alright, so that being said, just going to raise the camera. I painted my house last year, and that took, I did it all by myself. I did a really good job, so I don't want to do it again, as long as I'm living here. So at any rate, I also made these windows, the windows that came with the unit, the house. Oh, thinking about my woodshop channel. Were just terrible and rotting out. So we'll see that on the other side. And you can see some of the next projects I have here is to shore up the stone. This is actually in pretty good condition, which is sad, compared to other parts of the wall there. So you'll see we're going to have to research that, figure out how to get that fixed up. So that's what we did, that there. And again, any questions are welcomed. Ask us questions about what you see. I also have to make a system of lattice or whatever. I like what my neighbor did over here. He has, at the end of the porch there, he can take off his lattice and then put his ladder under the porch. That's just really smart. So I observed that, and I think that's what I'll do. You can see a tiger lily. I'm probably going to be wrong, and people are going to call me out. That's okay. Not my strong point, but I do like gardening, transplanting and planting, so on and so forth. So there you go. It's looking a lot better than last video number 1. Okay, so again, what we're going to do is take the grass out. I'm going to take that grass and put it in the back. You'll see where I'm going to put it. And this little clump, he grows really tall. I like it. The lovely one does not. So as the summer goes on, you're going to be very impressed at these two guys. 1, 2, and I don't remember what they are, but they have those really beautiful pink flowers. It's going to grow about 4 feet. And we have support cages that we'll be putting around it. Okay, so there you go. Let's walk around. You can see This morning I came out and did more raking and to get the leaves from the winter away from the English ivy and all the other plants. You can see there's a flower there that I don't think it got transplanted, but it's right in the middle of that flower arrangement. So, but my wife through the years does move things around. Who knows, maybe I don't know what to say about that. So here you go. And so that's that. So yeah, we got to make that fence there. So it's now come around the side, and you're going to see that this wall is in horrible condition. Well, actually more in the back than anything else. This here was somebody was smoking and flicked their butt, and it went here and it burned. I could have had my house burned down. I came home from church and there was smoke coming out of the side of my house. I was horrified. But all was good. All right, so I haven't touched this area yet. Okay, here's the wall. Look how bad that wall is. So we're gonna have to take care of that. All right, so I didn't do anything here yet. Hope that's probably obvious. Drying out a tarp that was around my kayak, which is hung on the side of the poly shed over there. All right, so my focus was on the front of the house so far. Hello. On the side of the house, in the front of the house, that's where I've been concentrating my efforts. Oh look, found some sunglasses. Must have fallen last autumn. So look at the flowers. We have flowers that come out all spring at different stages. And that's what you want to do when you have a garden, flowers. You want them to pop up one after the other. I haven't done anything here yet. That won't be this weekend. This is Easter weekend, by the way. And to just put a timeline on this, we're encouraged to stay in our houses. I don't want to use the word lockdown. They're not locking us down, but they're encouraging us to stay in our houses. So this is the Easter weekend. You know what else can happen on an Easter weekend? That last snowstorm. Through the years, I remember that being a thing. All right, so here we go. I have this tarp pegged down with some branches because I need it to dry out. So that's what's going on there. Lots of progress, though. You'll know that back here was horrible. I hope I got the before and the after. I have a feeling I might have videoed the after, but there you go. So I had to push all of this garbage out of the way. I have to take that to the dump. They won't take natural things. They charge you more taxes and take less, which is horrible. I'm going to take that table over there. I'm going to do a review on a new DeWalt Sawzall that I picked up. And we're going to do a side-by-side with the Ryobi and the Sawzall. So that's what that is. That came from the offices where we moved into in Latham, company I work for. And that weighs more than that garage. I mean, it is heavy, thick. And I'm going to make bandsaw boxes out of that. Let's just go over there real quick. And you'll see what I mean. It's really, really thick. Naturally, that's a piece of trim. But it's very, very thick. Very, very thick. That's going to serve me well. That's some live edge that I got from Wynn in New York. Right there. Just sort of drying out over there. He was here because I had a barrel, charcoal barrel unit for cooking. And he was here to walk on. So through the years, all of the earth, when I first moved in here, it was terrible. All the earth is just washing down and away. So I've been throwing my leaves and this, that, and the other against the fence through the years, and it's stopped the dirt from going. So I think I mentioned last time, I'm not going to get a dump truck down my driveway. First of all, I wouldn't let it happen, even if I could, because that's a new driveway. So that cost about $6,000, something like this, $6,500, by the way. And I highly recommend them if you're in the upstate New York area. So, all right, so let's come behind here. These are the areas that can be. Oh, is this my ring? I found my wedding ring. I think that's my wedding ring. Wow. I'll have to ask my wife, but I think that's my wedding ring. As the story goes, I apologize for the wind. You can't stop it. I was preparing for a woodworking show. Oh my goodness. I gotta try to get out of the wind because I gotta tell the story. And again, what you're seeing here is spring cleanup. I was about to say how embarrassing it is that we put things behind and this, that, and the other, and then we forget about it. So I'm cleaning all that up. I dug that Rose of Sharon up from here, and he is now on the other side of my house. I can't believe this happened. Let's set it down. I'm pretty sure that's my wedding ring. So let's just turn around here. I'm going to put it in my pocket. Well, I'm going to put it on my finger. Let's do that. Oh my Lord. Unbelievable. So I was preparing for a wood show, and I was had my compressor out here, and I was blowing out some units so I could stain. Oh my Lord, I'm so thrilled. And I put the ring, I took it off because I didn't want to scratch the woodwork, right? And I set it there, and I blew was blowing off the dust, and the ring went ping. I'm like, okay, I'll never find that again. Me, my son Josh, and daughter-in-law Tabby's came out here and looked for about 20 minutes in this whole area. And let me tell you, I rake a lot, and I do this and that and the other. I think it's been 2 years, possibly 2 years. So I I bought those roses, 4 of them. These are red roses, and planted them. And I dug up. I had to get a lot of the debris out of the way, dug it up, and I didn't notice last time, but it was lying right here. So this is where it ended up, in this area here, which is what I thought. You can tell I'm thrilled. I can't wait to just tell my wife. So yeah, this is the back area. And what I did is I freed up that bush. There were vines that were grabbed around this thing here. That actually blossoms wonderfully. These are what I call privacy units. It's going to go up, and like this dead tree. I cut one of the units down. Everything's a unit to me. Trunks. And some time ago I started to cut this one. And then I noticed that it's actually growing. Isn't that amazing how resilient that is? It's growing branches. So I don't know why it got so dark. I got to pay attention to that. Sorry, guys. I don't know how long that's been dark like that. All right, so there you go. I have to constantly pull out paper and plastic that blows around. But so here we go. This is my backyard. I'm not ashamed to show you this. I mean, this is just life as it is. It's real, right? So this is a crate from overseas, by the way, that I decided. It says New York City. Blah. Very interesting. And I like it. It's been weathered out here for a couple years. We'll use it for something. That being said, I turned into a wood hoarder, which was terrible. And I now I've been getting rid of that wood that's in my wood shop in the back end. Let's come in here. I got videos on my, oh, it's nice in here, 69 degrees. Outside it feels more like 42 with that wind blowing. So at any rate, 68 degrees. This is the poly shed. Look up the video on SC Custom Designs, this channel, and just search for poly shed if you're at my channel, and you'll see the history of this. At first I made it out of pallets, so 1 pallet, 2 pallet, just screwed them together, and it was one big square. Okay, just one big square. Then my pastor and 2 parishioners made this thing so that all the light can come in. and he also used spare parts, and this whole thing was made like that. And so isn't that beautiful? So the idea came that I should get rid of the pallets and put this material here, corrugated, around the whole area. And that's exactly what I did. They also put this door in. This was a used door lying around. So all of this, of course, is me going crazy with the foam spray to try to stop the wind from blowing through the areas where it can. So I went crazy with that. These windows are whole cool. I came home from work one day. This window, look how long it is. And they're functional, by the way. And this set of 2 windows was in the garbage. I think I jumped out of my car and the car kept going down the hill and I grabbed these windows. I mean, I was so excited. So one by one, I put them in. I think did put them in about 3 years ago. I don't remember. All right, so that was a lot of fun. Now, and then I had to frame it out. I'm not a framer. You know, I've been working lots of jobs like we all do throughout the years. I was a missionary, by the way. And so I lived in Israel for 6 years and went all over the world in service for the Lord. So I learned how to speak Hebrew, some minimal other languages. So anyway, yeah, this is basil. And so basil and rosemary, I think it's called. So I picked those up, and they're living out here until the weather gets warmer. So inside it's dry, cold and hot because of the heat. So, all right, so this is the poly shed. Again, you can look up that video. I find things and incorporate them, put them together, and that's what all this is. But really, this series is about what did you do this weekend. So this weekend, we went over what I did. Oh, by the way, this branch here fell out of the tree. I prayed. I said, Lord, don't let this fall on my poly shed, which is here. It was dangling up there. You can see there's other branches that are just dangling up there. But this was way up there. Well, you see that rope? I actually cut that branch down carefully. And that was a fun thing to do. Kind of scary too. Put the ladder way up there, tied the branch off. It went down like this. And then I got to lower it and take it safely away. But this one here blew. I took 3 pictures of it. It landed on this here, my lilacs. There's 2 bushes I planted, one over there and one here. And he landed on here and didn't damage it. I was thrilled. It could have also landed on my neighbor's fence. It could have landed on this table. We had really high winds this weekend. They're still blowing around. The wind is blowing around. You could hear it. All right. So the idea behind my channel, my friends, is that you can ask questions, and I can ask you questions about how you do a thing. And that thing is going to be many different tasks. Research you might want. You don't know how to research. A contractor, for example, to do your driveway. What you need to know. Some minimal things. How much asphalt. I think this is 3 inches. What grade the asphalt is. Are they going to put crushed stone under it? Did they put the tarp? It kind of looks like this. There's a name for it though. That's supposed to go underneath as well. And I've noticed that there's contractors that just want your money. They come in and do as little as they possibly can. And if you're ignorant, they take advantage of your ignorance. So ask me about that. Again, ask me about how I made this wall, this retaining wall. One of the biggest mistakes I see folks do is they don't lean it back. I mean, if you notice, it's leaning. It's not straight up and down. It's leaning because the dirt wants to push that away, right? So lean it. That's the way you're supposed to do that. I'm not a wall person. I don't build walls, but I did a little bit of research and just it's the type of thing. It's in my blood. I just like to learn to do things. Okay, so let's go ahead and end the video. And I'm quite happy. I'm taking pictures every other week or so of the lilacs in the front here. This is the white lilacs, by the way. It's very, very fragrant. And I've taken pictures so I can line them all up and show you through time how things come to life. Thanks for coming into, I had to stop saying that, into my shop. So thanks for coming to my new channel series that we're going to call What the Heck Did You Do This Weekend? All right, thanks. Take care. God bless. I'm going to do the thing I do on my other channel. Say goodbye in some other languages. Shalom Aleichem. Goodbye and blessings on you. Hebrew, Masalami, Arabic, peace upon you. Tutsins, Chinese, Mandarin specifically. I will see you. Goodbye. And sorry, Tutsins is Afrikaans. And then Zaijian is the Mandarin. And I used to know a lot more languages, but through the years, you don't use it, you lose it. I keep coming down here because look how these guys, what my wife does is she transplants these guys here, there, and yonder. I think I started out talking about how the Rose of Sharon's basically grow, the seeds drop, they grow here. I'm leaving these though for privacy. My wife doesn't want any kind of porch surround, right? She doesn't want. I want to take and close in my porch like my neighbors over there, right? But she doesn't want that. In addition to that, we had these clapboards when I was painting last year, and she says, "I'd love it if you take the clapboards off the side so I could see through." Okay, so what I also did, an idea for you, is the studs here. I routed them and made them look really nice there. I'm going to have to put studs in between, and they're going to be smaller so that they're safer, so toddlers and babies can't get through there. That's a code you're going to have to know about. I also put these 4x4 pillars in because my porch was in horrible condition, basically falling out to the road. And so I managed to do that all by myself. Used a car jack to jack up the roof, and I managed to put these 4x4s, replace some of the wood here in the corners. I had to go all the ways down below the porch and build up from underneath. So you can say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. Some of them better than others. So at any rate, yeah, so I transplant these guys, these Rose of Sharons. In this case, I'm letting them grow because I like the privacy. So I transplanted these guys over here so they can grow here and through the years give me some privacy from every Tom, Dick, and Harry walking up the street. Not that I don't like people, but I like to have my privacy like anybody else would. And so I'm quite sociable, by the way. Thanks for coming into this series. Take care. Bye-bye. I think I'm going to let you go.